You said you would bring everything possible to the table to help Seattle win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now that you're a game away, how does it feel and how cool is that?
You play this game to win. You play this game for championships, and all the rest will take care of itself. So to be here one game away from that goal 2 years in, it's a bit surreal. And like you said, we got to get one more. But to do that in year 2 would be really awesome.
Welcome to the Schultz Report. I'm your host, NFL Insider Jordan Schultz. In today's show, I'll be sharing exclusive updates and news on what continues to be the wildest head coaching cycle I've ever been a part of. Of course, Keyshawn Johnson will be tapping in to share his thoughts on the 2 instant classic conference championships. And of course, we'll be talking Super Bowl. A.J. Barner, standout Seattle second-year tight end, will be joining us as well. And we'll be talking about his journey to the big game. Lock in and let's go. The Kardashian curse is officially headed to the big game. Fanatics Sportsbook has teamed up with Kendall Jenner to put the curse to the test on the biggest stage. So make sure you check out the Fanatics Sportsbook socials for her big game pick. And now the question becomes, are you betting with Kendall or betting against her? Either way, Fanatics has given you a 100% moneyline profit boost to use on the big game. Find out if the curse will be broken on February 8th. Only on Fanatics, America's fastest-growing sportsbook. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-522-4700. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777. Massachusetts, 800-327-5050. New York, 877-8-HOPE-NY. Maryland, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Max wager applies. Not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app. One of the big hires of this coaching cycle is Joe Brady to the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Sean McDermott out after 9 seasons, and Buffalo had a pretty interesting process. They talked to Phillip Rivers, obviously Brian Daboll as well, Grant Udinski, the 30-year-old whiz kid from Jacksonville. Davis Webb was in the mix. They ultimately land on Joe Brady, promoting from within the offensive coordinator. And here's what I was told as to why he was hired. The CEO portion of the interview stood out the most. His vision, Brady's vision, for how everything would be structured from the head coach seat all the way down was a home run. Just in terms of the staff, how he planned to integrate everyone into his program, that was really impressive to the Bills' decision makers. I was also told that Joe Brady really nailed the importance of alignment between coaching and player personnel. I think one of the keys for any successful operation in today's day and age, but especially in Buffalo, who has struggled to get over the hump, is that connection, bridging the connection between coach and players. And how do you find a common identity that everyone is working toward? I think Joe Brady really understood that. So he signs a 5-year deal. They get their guy. I think ultimately one of the question marks that perhaps NFL fans or even Bills fans have is identifying Joe Brady as strictly a play caller, strictly an offensive coordinator. They haven't seen him in a head coach role yet. The structure and leadership approach to becoming a head coach, that's what Joe Brady did that ultimately impressed the search committee in Buffalo the most, including Josh Allen, and that's why Joe Brady is the next head coach of the Buffalo Bills. The Steelers hiring Mike McCarthy surprised a lot of people, and many fans were initially upset. Here's what I'll say. The Steelers are one of the most respected organizations league-wide when it comes to how they conduct head coach searches. They've had just 3 head coaches since 1969, so they do thorough searches that are deep and detailed. And even before this head coaching cycle began, there was a widespread belief, as we talked about a lot on the show, that it wasn't a strong one, with no clear Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel or even Liam Cohen at the top. So the Steelers went through their full process, and I truly believe came to the conclusion that there wasn't a young candidate they felt could be their guy for the next 15-plus years, like a Chuck Noll, like a Bill Cowher, or like a Mike Tomlin. So ultimately, Pittsburgh decided to pivot and hire someone who has already proven he can win, Mike McCarthy. So the bottom line is the Steelers will have McCarthy for the short term, maybe the full 5 years of his contract, and then conduct another search when hopefully the coaching pool is deeper. One more note, it's very easily, obviously, to connect the dots between Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy, who have a relationship dating back basically 2 decades. But I can tell you this, that is not the reason why the Steelers hired Mike McCarthy. Fired up to welcome into the show Keyshawn Johnson, a good friend and good football mind, most would say. Still to be determined on the Schultz Report. Key, a lot
Only
of
a mind,
NFL
not
to
a
get to.
not a player, not a good player, just a good mind.
Well, a great
Jeez.
player.
All
An
right, good
above-average
mind.
football mind. A great
Okay.
player, above-average football mind. We had talked a lot about Seattle's offense and Sam Darnold, former Trojan great. I thought he answered a lot of questions. Why do you think he had a lot of success? I know the Rams play a lot of zone. They couldn't get really the pass rush going necessarily. But what was it from Sam that allowed him to have really his first big breakthrough game when he needed to have it in terms of the playoffs?
See, I love the way that the narrative has shifted for Sam. I mean, this is the way it goes in professional sports. You ask me questions about why. All you got to do is you look at the box scores, go all the way to the right on the box score as you're looking at it. Just go to the right, right? What is that going to tell you? There's a number on the box score that has a fat zero on it, and that's the turnovers. That's the interceptions. But people don't realize that or understand that. He had a stretch where he threw, I don't know, 8 interceptions or whatever it is in a 4-game span, and everybody thinks that he's a turnover machine. Last year, he didn't play well in his first postseason game when he was with the Minnesota Vikings. This is the same Sam Darnold that was selected by the New York Jets, except there was no JSN, there was no Walker, there was no defense. This is the same guy the Carolina Panthers acquired. This is the same guy that went to San Francisco, the same exact guy that went to Minnesota. But when you have tools and players around you that would allow you to succeed, you look at Bobo's touchdown. Bobo ran a corner post. Sam threw it with people in his face, but he knew what a receiver was going to be. That just tells me he's in the right situation, making the right plays and doing the right things. The narrative is crazy to me, though. This is it's like a comeback story when it's really not a comeback story. What it is a failure by the team that selected him in the New York Jets and Adam Gase and company that didn't do enough to make him successful.
Do you think that Darnold right now, is he at the level where you can, if you're Seattle, you've already made the decision that this is the quarterback of the future, not just the next year or two?
You extend him. You extend him. You extend him and don't even think about it. What the hell? Why wouldn't you extend him? You're in the Super Bowl. Who are you going to get at the quarterback position? Not that there's a quarterback out there that can go do the same things. I'm not saying that, but who are you going to get that's going to be a duplicate of what Sam Darnold just did in 1 year for Seattle? Because if they'd have kept Geno Smith, they wouldn't be in this position. Let's be honest with each other. That's why the coach got up off of him immediately when he had a chance to get Sam Darnold. So, yeah, you extend him. If that was your question to me before, you extend him, you take him wherever he's at. I don't know the numbers, but you put him in that top 5 category because he earned it.
On the other side, in terms of the Super Bowl, Drake Maye, he's going to either win MVP or be the runner-up. He'll be 1 or 2.
Yeah,
but
New England,
but New England has a much different style of play. It's
yeah.
They are running the football. They're playing defense. They play ball control. They don't throw the ball the way Seattle does, although they do have a lot of explosives in terms of down the field. If you were to look at the Super Bowl, and I know it's early, we're still a couple weeks out, but if you were to look at the Super Bowl and say, this is what New England does a lot better than Seattle or better than Seattle, what do you feel like is their biggest advantage?
Just what you just said, really, that it may be more of the ball control situation. But what happens in people's minds is they look at what New England was able to accomplish against the Houston Texans or against the Denver Broncos in the snow. Sean Payton, love him to death, one of my dearest friends. He f***ed that game up. He lost the game. Take the 3, man. Go up 10-0. Stop trying to be cute. The weather changed on you. You should have known the weather was coming. You know, I understand when you calling games and your mind's in the game and you're not thinking and all those sort of things, but the weather changed on him. So, and the reason I bring this up to you, Jordan, is if you look at the Houston Texans, their path to playing the New England Patriots, they went against Aaron Rodgers. Okay, so they dominated that. No, they just dominated it, right? Went against Aaron Rodgers, dominated him. So when we look at the number 1 defense in Houston, number 2 defense in Houston, You got to really bring it and break it all the way down. You got to look at the division that they played in, the teams that they were playing. This is why this defense is so highly ranked. They saw Pittsburgh in the postseason. But when they saw a real offense at home, they didn't look so good. Then you talk about the New England Patriots against Denver. Denver getting their deep. We don't know what that is because of the snow. It was a bad weather game, and they were up in the bad weather game, so they win the game. Against Seattle, it's going to be different on a neutral site. I want to see what Drake Maye is against Seattle on a neutral site with no weather issues at all. Well, I don't know. San Francisco may have some rain or something. Who knows? But
Well, it won't be the crazy snow.
Yes,
So it's a much
exactly different game. It's a different game. My money early right now today is on Seattle to cover.
We're going to have plenty of time to talk Super Bowl. I do want to talk about the coaching cycle, specifically the fact that we have not seen any black head coaches hired. I'm curious your thoughts on that, Key, as this cycle has played out.
You mean people that look closer to me than they do you? Is that what you mean?
That would be another apt way to put it, yes.
You know, it's interesting because there's guys that are out there, both in the college and in the pro ranks, that have the ability to become head coaches, have the ability to become coordinators. For whatever weird reason, and I've always said this about the owners in the National Football League or people in business in general. When you don't have people in the room that look different than you tend to lean toward that because that's what you know. How many owners, and I say this all the time, and be honest, it's okay to be honest. How many owners do you think genuinely on a day-to-day basis communicate with black men and women on a daily basis? Not once every 3 months when they see them. I'm talking about every single day. See, I'm comfortable because I communicate with you every day. Or I'm comfortable because I communicate with my wife every day who happens to be white.
Sure.
I'm happy and comfortable in that situation. But when you look at some of the people that make the decisions, the presidents, the general managers, presidents, general managers, and the owners, they don't communicate a dialogue at a high level. We're talking a high level.
The owners don't?
No. How many you think you're going to find that actually genuinely on a daily basis deal with black people on a daily basis to be comfortable enough in their own skin to be able to say, we're talking about 32 owners. I'm not pigeonholing every single owner. There's some owners that do, and you can clearly see it. But there's other owners that you look at and you go, yeah, he don't with us like that. You just know. So a lot of that has to do with that. Or you talk about the hiring practice. How many head coaches that are white outside of players that deal with African Americans, blacks, Hispanics, and whatever other non-white group you think they deal with every single day? Talk about because you got to be comfortable, right? If you're not comfortable, then you're not. And so it starts at the top with the presidents and general managers being able to hire a head coach that, and you say, well, he has a black dude on his staff. Yeah, but the guy that's on his staff, is he in a position of power? Or is he just the wide receiver coach? Is he just the DB? Is he you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about position of power that matters. And when you don't have those coordinators and that influence, you're not going to have very many guys get hired in the coaching cycle, right? That's the way it's always been. And hopefully it'll change. It's just ridiculous when you have so many head coaching vacancies and you give the Rooney Rule interview. It's like, man, they're not hiring that dude. I knew they would never hire him. But you can hire Robert Saleh. You can hire Robert Saleh after he had a dismal first stint with the New York Jets, but you can give him 9 months and rehabilitate him in 9 months and microwave him up again. Microwaving, meaning you put him in a microwave, he goes around, you take him out, he's ready to go again. But you would never do that with an African American. It's just it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling.
So my follow-up is twofold. One is this a conversation that players are having, especially black players, And then secondly, do you think it bothers black players that we are not seeing black head coaches hired?
I think it bothers not only black players, but it also bothers white players.
Okay.
Okay? Because if you're a good coach, you're a good coach. And if they know you're
Sure.
a good coach,
Yeah.
they want you to coach them. So I think it
Because
bothers
that's all
both.
players care about, really. Can you make me better, and can you help us win, right? That's really at the end of the day.
1,000%. White or black, it doesn't really matter. But that conversation certainly is being had amongst the community. And like, okay, so we going through this cycle again with the same bullshit again? At least it looks that way. I mean, I don't know what's left. What's left? The Raiders, Cleveland.
Put it this way: I'd be shocked if a black head coach of the 3 remaining was hired. Let's just say that.
What's left?
Arizona, Vegas, and Cleveland. I don't think you're going to see a black head coach hired. No.
And I trust you because you follow this every single day. This is what you do. You're an insider. Okay. So you have to look at the owners, look at the teams. You have to just look at those things and really understand. Now, I don't know who's out there, right? Do you go back and Brian Flores, Anthony Lynn, Raheem Morris, are those guys?
Of those 3, I'd say Raheem has the best chance
But
by
why?
and large to get it.
But why?
To get it. No,
But
to get
why?
a coordinator job. To get a coordinator job.
Oh, coordinator job. Yeah. I mean, but that's not what he wants. He's done that. He's done that.
No, he's not
He
going to
wants
be a head
get out.
coach in this cycle.
No, I
and-
understand. I get it. I understand it. But he's done the coordinate thing. He's done that. So he's probably looking to figure out if he could. And if he can't, maybe there's a vacancy, like you said, on the coordinating side. But I'm just giving you 3 prominent names in the top of my mind that are black, that are coordinator types or former head coaches. Okay, you got 3 of them that been coordinators and been
all
head
3
coaches.
have been head coaches. Yeah.
All
Yeah.
3 have been coordinators and head coaches. All 3 of them. Those are the only ones that I hear that, that's out there. Because I don't know anybody else that's like, that's
No,
deep.
those are the 3. Yeah, and Flores interviewed in this cycle with Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Raheem has had multiple interviews, including Arizona, and Anthony Lynn has had interviews with Buffalo and Cleveland. But then what you said earlier was, hey, it's this token Rooney rule, and I know that bothers you.
It does, but you also got to go through the process. You have to. Because look at what happened with Mike Tomlin. They were ready to hire Russ Grimm, I believe, at the time. And they said, you know what? Pittsburgh and Rooney said, let's interview Mike Tomlin. Let's interview him. They interviewed him and walked away, and he was there for 20 years. So it's necessary to do if you want to be a head coach. You just go do it. You know what it is. And if you throw it against the wall, maybe it sticks. It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense.
Keyshawn, I'm curious, when you first saw my report on Shedeur Sanders being named to the Pro Bowl, what was your initial reaction?
I mean, it's good for him, right? It
Good
really
for
is.
him.
Good for him. I'm happy for him. I mean, he started to play better as time went on. You can see that he's an NFL quarterback. That he is. And that's the rules of the game now, right? It's different than when I played, because when I played, nobody playing 7 games or 8 games was getting into a Pro Bowl. It just wasn't going to happen. But there's spots that's available, and when the spots are available, they go down the pecking order, and the next guy in line, it fell to him. So whoever was in front of him, I don't know how many players or nothing like that, doesn't really matter. I'm happy for him. He gets to experience it. He gets to put it in his bio. You're going to always have, but you're going to always, Jordan, have people that say he didn't deserve it, but that's not the rules. It ain't whether or not you deserved it. They picked you.
It's whether or not you got it.
He got it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
I was really happy for him.
Yeah.
The Pro Bowl for a long time hasn't been the Pro Bowl that even I grew up on.
No, it's different. It's different now.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot different. And the fact that he gets to experience this now is an incredible opportunity. And
yes,
I would say that, first of all, there's a lot of, if you look at the AFC quarterbacks that can't play, whether it's Herbert or Allen, obviously Drake Maye, Bo Nix, there's a lot of guys that can't play, Daniel Jones. So it's not like the league just went to him right away. The league, so there was a due diligence, but at the same time, Shedeur moves the needle. He's incredibly popular, number one jersey almost the whole year, and he's polarizing. So he checks all the boxes, and he's fun. I feel like he's fun. I've been a fan for a long time, going back to Jackson State, and I believe he's an NFL quarterback. Is he one of the best quarterbacks in the league? No, but maybe he can get there at some point, and maybe this helps propel him. So I had no problem with it. I was just curious, as a former Pro Bowler, perennial superstar player, did you have an issue with it?
No, none at all, because it's the game. This is where we're at. When I played, Jordan, they took two quarterbacks,
From each
maybe
conference?
three, maybe each conference, maybe three, two or three quarterbacks, right?
Okay.
If one of those two or three didn't play, they went to the next guy. And then the next guy. And then they just went down the line depending on who could play. Like, the Pro Bowl was after the Super Bowl, which I believe it should still be. And it should be in Hawaii, but that's just my beliefs. But the NFL sees
you're
something
preaching
different.
to the choir. I love the Hawaii, and I loved it after. I totally
but
agree.
it's I understand what they're doing. They're making money. And if you put it in Hawaii, it's difficult to get to Hawaii versus San Francisco,
Super Bowl
Orlando,
site. Yeah.
Super Bowl site, so to speak. It's cheaper probably. But anyway, it was just different. If a guy didn't play, the next guy in line who was the alternate, he went. Now you see whoever doesn't play as the fifth guy, they go all the way to the 10th guy. They just go down the line. But again, next year we'll be calling the game and we'll say Pro Bowl quarterback Shedeur Sanders just completed another pass. You hear how that sounds? That sounds great. Pro Bowl quarterback. Or you'll hear the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns say, our Pro Bowl quarterback is going to learn a lot this year, this offseason, because, going to the Pro Bowl last. So you're going to hear that referenced a lot next season with Shedeur. That's good, though.
Yeah, I mean, and also the Pro Bowl, just from a pure football standpoint, really isn't football anymore. It's flag. It's there's activity.
Yeah, but it's still Pro Bowl. But it's still Pro Bowl. How many?
I know. I'm just saying.
Here's some.
The whole essence of the game has changed.
Here's some homework for you, though.
I was never a big homework guy, so let's just.
Well, I'm gonna give you some homework, and maybe some of your staff. I want you to find out. I want you to tweet out father sons that's made the Pro Bowl. Father sons combination has made the Pro Bowl.
I would say Archie and Peyton and Eli.
I wasn't around with Archie, so I don't even know if he ever.
I know, but that's the only one that comes to mind.
Okay, no, that's that.
Maybe the Matthews family.
I was going to say the Matthews families.
Sure.
The Mannings.
Might be it.
The Sanders. But you should do that homework. You should tweet that out. I gave you something.
You did, yeah. Every once in a while, you give me a nugget.
I'm sure we're missing some people. We just don't. Oh,
yeah.
McCaffrey's.
McCaffrey was a really good player.
Played with me in the Pro Bowl, so it's Ed and Christian. So that's 4.
Christian, yeah.
Go ahead. I want you to do that exercise and tweet it out, because you can say,
okay, I will.
One of many.
I will. Last question for you. Your first Super Bowl prediction. I guess you kind of said earlier. You said Seattle in a cover.
I'm taking Seattle.
Give me a score. Are you going to go 31,
24-17?
Okay.
27-17. Like 27-17.
And how about a Super Bowl MVP?
It's either going to be Sam Darnold or Jaxon Smith. One of the two. JSN.
Well, Keyshawn, we had some technological difficulties today. I'm not in the normal studio. We will hopefully see you in San Francisco. And until then, thanks so much, as always, for joining the show. And I must say, I do like this fit today with the hat. It's a good look for you.
I just got my hair. I got to get cut up. I'm waiting till next week. You're not
ready for camera with the hair. So
I just threw a hat on. I got to get dyed. See, I don't have a problem. Many people have a problem saying they dye their hair. I have a problem saying I dye my hair. Because I dye it, then I hit it up with the cool fade, get the grays out. That's just what it is.
I love that. Hey, Keyshawn, actually, before I let you go, what's your all-time favorite halftime Super Bowl performance?
I would probably say Michael Jackson at the Rose Bowl.
Okay, that's a
Rose
good
Bowl,
one.
Michael Jackson. I think it
Or
was
Whitney, maybe.
Buffalo,
Oh no, Whitney
Dallas.
was Anthem.
National anthem in Tampa.
Yeah.
That was Whitney.
Yeah.
But I would say Michael Jackson, he just,
That was your favorite?
oh, it was the best. It was like, I mean, there was a bunch of good ones. I don't even remember who was our halftime or the national anthem. I have
Really?
no
Oh,
idea.
I
No
thought
idea. No
Kendrick was
idea.
really good last year.
Yeah, but Michael Jackson was at a different level. It's just MJ,
Well,
man. It's
that's
just different.
yeah.
It's just different.
Yeah.
It's just different. But that thing coming out, it's like, oh yeah.
There it is. Very pleased to welcome to the show Seahawks second-year standout tight end, A.J. Barner, NFC champion, and soon to play in the Super Bowl. A.J., welcome to the show. It's been 24 hours or so since maybe longer now, since the Seahawks clinched. What was the first moment it really hit you? Was it right on the field, or maybe when you got home? How did it sink in?
Honestly, I mean, I feel like, after the game kind of started to sink in, but quite frankly, obviously you had to win the game, do all the things to get there, but it's been kind of been the goal, and obviously we got one more to go. So it's set in, but got to take care of the next one too. So I think once it's all said and done, then it'll set in. But definitely to have the confetti coming down and being on our home field and celebrate with the guys was definitely special.
What did the NFC Championship game show you that you already knew, but maybe tell fans that maybe didn't know that Sam Darnold was that dude?
I mean, just the way that he performed. I think, in this league, everyone has their doubts about all players. All players have narratives surrounding them, and the guys in our locker room and the guys on our team believe in Sammy, myself included. And I think just to show the world on that stage, to play the way that he did, the football that he played was just really special, and I think it cleared up all the doubt. But like I said, all the guys in this locker room, all the people in Seattle, I think know what we got in our quarterback. So now the whole world knows.
When did you realize that Sam Darnold was like a legit QB1? How long did it take you?
I think throughout camp, just the way that he was taking care of the ball, hitting his reads, being a pro. And obviously, this is only my second year in the league. Played with Gino last year. Had a lot of success with Gino too, and really like Gino as well. And I think throughout camp, kind of just saw Sam really start to take off, and obviously saw the success that he had last year. And honestly, too, we had a lot of new faces in the building this past year, so it was kind of we had to lay a foundation and build a process. And I think throughout camp and as we got the season going, it started to feel like we had something special.
On your draft call, AJ, with Mike McDonald, head coach, you said you would bring everything possible to the table to help Seattle win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now that you're a game away, how does it feel, and how cool is that?
Man, I appreciate you bringing that up, Jordan. That's just the type of player that I am, and I was fortunate enough to taste that success at Michigan and win a national championship and see what team success can do for you individually and as a team as well. And that's just what I want to do. I think you play this game to win, you play this game for championships, and all the rest will take care of itself. So to be here one game away from that goal 2 years in, it's a bit surreal. And I think being that it was my first year with Coach Mike and seeing the whole process go down and step by step, and really feeling like I'm definitely a big time leader on our team is really special. And like you said, we got to get one more, but to do that in year two would be really awesome.
We had your teammate Nick Emmanwori on a few weeks ago, and one of the things that he said that stuck out to me was that Mike McDonald was a great adjuster, and he talked about his ability to connect with players. I'm just curious for you on the offensive side of the ball if you've experienced the same version of Coach Mike.
I think Coach Mike's calculated. He's a smart guy, able to relate to his players, but able to be himself too. If you know Coach Mike and you know Coach Mike from the start, definitely had to grow throughout the process and become the best version of himself. And I think, like you said, I mean, he adjusts, he listens to the people in the building, the ownership, our GM, all hands are on deck. I feel like with the organization, there's nobody, too big for it. So like Nick said, I mean, he adjusts, he puts us in the best position possible, and he leads us too, but he also lets, the leaders on the team have a role in that as well.
You said you're a big leader, AJ. Is that fair to say?
I would say so.
How did you develop those traits as a football player?
I think I've always kind of had that a little bit. My family definitely helped shape that, but like on our offense, like I'm an energy guy. Like I feel like our offense, Coop's gonna be Coop. Coop's gonna be a leader. Coop's gonna be, a vet. Sammy's gonna take care of his business. Jax is gonna do what he does. And I think for my position as a tight end and being with the O line and being with the wide receivers and all the guys, like I'm gonna bring juice. I'm gonna be myself and I'm gonna have fun too. So I think that's what I kind of bring to the table as a young leader on our team. Like a little bit naive to maybe all the things that
Yeah.
go in the league. Like I said, being in year 2, but I'm always have fun and I'm gonna be me. And I think people respect that. And like I said, it's a good bridge that I have being a tight end and working with the O line and the receivers and everyone included.
Have you ever heard anything as loud as Sunday at Lumen Field? Like, was that the loudest you've ever seen a stadium or heard a stadium?
I would say so for sure. Like I said, I played in Michigan, and obviously that's the
Yeah.
biggest.
Big house.
Yeah, the biggest stadium in the world, but the 12s are unreal. And like they take so much pride in being that loud. I think, I would like to go to maybe like a Pearl Jam concert or something and just like I like those vibes. So maybe that could get a little loud too. We'll have to see. But yeah, the 12s are unbelievable. And it's truly an advantage. And I'm a little jealous being on offense because like on offense, you play at home and it's like quiet down, like everyone chill out. But when the defense goes out there, that place is nuts.
Have players ever said to you, like at some point, man, I can't believe how loud it is here, like opposite opponents?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've seen it, and just being on the sidelines too when the defense is out there, like you can honestly get a headache from how loud it is. Like it's really crazy. I'm sitting on the bench trying to flag down a water, and it's like you gotta like go out of your way to like flag somebody down just so they can hear you. So it's insane, and like I said, it's an advantage for our defense.
So you played quarterback, right, as a kid?
Yeah, growing up, I was pretty bad.
Okay, so you didn't have you weren't a good distributor.
I went to the Manning Passing Academy going into my junior year of high school, maybe just to like try and get better, do what I could, and then I was like, all right, like yeah, this is not it. I'm gonna figure something else out.
Because of you, or because of what you saw other kids throwing, like how they were throwing?
Maybe that, but I was just a little bit like behind too. Like I'm a bit young for my age. I kind of got like I was one of the better athletes at my school and we needed a quarterback. So I was like, yo, you're playing
Yeah,
quarterback, dog. So
right.
figure it out. And I'm just the type of person where I love football and I wanted to get better. So I was gonna go, do what I could to get better. So, but that's when I was like, all right, like I don't really want to pursue quarterback.
What about basketball?
I was a wrestler.
Wrestler.
So I played rec basketball. I played baseball as well, but my two sports were football and wrestling. And I think, I do get a lot of love for my blocking these days, and I honestly can attribute that to wrestling. I think the mentality, the leverage, all the things that wrestling teaches you has been huge. And I wrestled from first grade till ninth grade. And believe it or not, my freshman year of high school, I wrestled at 126 pounds. And then by the time I was a senior, I wasn't wrestling anymore because I just wanted to focus on football. And it's hard to put on weight when you're wrestling, obviously. So by the time I was a senior, though, I was like 220 leaving. So
You put
crazy.
on
And that's
almost
what I
a
mean.
100 pounds.
Yeah, 100 pounds and probably like 6 inches of height, too. But that's what I was saying. I was just young
Whoa.
for my age and just a
Right.
late bloomer. So.
So but you loved wrestling.
I loved wrestling. If you know wrestling parents, you know how crazy that can get. So I think, my dad got me into it when I was young, and any wrestler, there gets to be a point in the time where you either, maybe get burnt out of it or whatever the case may be. But I did truly love wrestling, and I think in the off season too, that's something that I take up. I work out in Cali a lot in the off season, take my off season very serious, and I do a lot of body on body like leverage training, boxing. Shout out my guy Jay Glazer. Me and Jay will get it in. He worked with Mercedes Lewis, and I kind of had seen that and was like, yo, I want to try something different and check all the boxes that I can to be the best player that I can be. So
Okay, so you're doing in the offseason wrestling, hand to hand, body, a lot of different types of martial
yeah,
arts.
for sure. I'll do some MMA stuff. Obviously running routes, lifting, all the things. But yeah, I take it very serious, and I think there can be a lot of strides made in the off season um, to be the best player you can be.
What age were you when you really started to lock in with football? It sounds like 15, 16. And then at what age were you when you realized I can actually do this like for a living? I can be an NFL football player.
I always tell people like some kids grow up watching cartoons, SpongeBob, whatever. Like I grew up watching Sports Center and was asking for football helmets and football jerseys and all that since I was little. So like I believe, I've loved this game and quite frankly was born to play it. Like I said, high school kind of took my time to grow. And then once I got to Indiana and played at Indiana, guys were starting to tell me like, yo, like bro, you're pretty good. Like you probably go to the league. I was like, damn, all right. So I really just kept working hard, did all the things that I could, and was like, that was the goal. And where I'm from, like nobody's really gone to the league, so it's kind of just took it step by step, and here I am.
AJ, Travis Kelce, who's also from the
Yeah,
Cleveland area, he called you a swag champ on his show New Heights. What
yeah.
did he mean by that?
It's just Cleveland swag. Trav's my guy. Trav's a great dude. Just swaggy. Like I said, with my leadership too, like I like to have fun. I like to be myself. And I think anyone from Cleveland takes pride in being from there. So I've definitely, been able to chop it up with Trav a little bit. And yeah, I think any good player has to have some swag to him, has to have some confidence and a way that they like to play. So I think just the way that I carry myself and the fun that I have when I'm at my best playing the game. I think that's what he's referring to.
And to that point, Mike McDonald called you a spark plug with edge, which is
Hmm.
pretty cool. I mean, that's a dope compliment,
Hell
especially
yeah.
coming from a head coach. How do you embody that, not just in the games, but day to day in terms of your energy? And, I just feel like whenever I watch you, I see you're always in it,
Yeah, for sure. That's me, dude. You can't fake that. Like, I think you just got to do it every day. You can't fake it. You got to be authentic to yourself. And like I said, like on offense, I grew up playing defense and like I
Right.
touched on the
Linebacker.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I feel like on defense, you can fly around, be loud, run your mouth a little bit, a little easier on defense. And I think on offense, for me, it's like, all right, somebody has to do that on our offense. And like I'm looking around, it's like, all right, I'm the guy for that. So I kind of take pride in that. And it's just who I am. Like I said, that's authentic every day in the building. I think like Devin Witherspoon or like Derek Hall or the guys in our defense, like when we're going at it in practice, like that gets the best out of us. And I think just chopping it up with those guys and making sure they know that, our offense is standing on business too. And then that carries through to the game.
You said when you moved to Seattle that it felt like home. What do
Yeah.
you think that was? Because I'm from Seattle. I'm a
Yeah. Okay.
206 all the way.
Oh,
I
let's
grew up a
go.
huge Seahawks fan. Met my wife at a
Yeah.
Seahawks game.
Okay.
So, dude, like I know what it is to be a real
Yeah.
like PNW
Oh,
Seattle
yeah.
dude. So for
Yeah.
you coming from the Midwest, what did that
Yeah.
mean?
Man, well, so I first got out here and I had never been here. So I was like kind of unsure what it was going to be like. I thought, it'd probably get snowy up here because you're way up north. But I just love the vibes. Like I love the mountains. I love the water, the team. I felt like when I got here, it was like there was just a great opportunity for me to really like take off. And I felt like the organization believed in me too. Like I feel like I transferred schools, and then when I got here, it's like I feel like they really believed in me. And then I touched on like the Pearl Jam and stuff like that. Like I love the grunge music and just like being a little grimy. You forget about us in the PNW. Like you might not have heard about too much about the Seahawks going into this year, but here we are now. So that's me. I embrace it. And I think wherever I'm at, like I'm gonna always show love to the people that, support us like the 12s do. So yeah, like I said, I love it here in Seattle. And I think it's all encompassing between the city, the organization, and then my personality just coming in here and being a perfect fit.
And are you seeing more and more people recognizing you as you move around the city?
A little bit. I think definitely on game day. I think being that I have like the barnyard is what they call it when I go
Yeah,
under center and take a
I know it's
snap, or
great.
like, yeah, when I score touchdowns, I have a dance that I do. So I think little stuff like that, the fans appreciate it. But I mean, you know how it is this time of year during the season, it's pretty tunnel vision, locked in.
Yeah, you're
So
locked in. Yeah.
yeah, but obviously feel the support when it comes.
What's like the craziest thing that you've seen from JSN? I'm sure you've seen 100, but it feels like every week he does something that I've never seen before.
Man, crazy things I've seen from JSN, because on the field or off the field, I'm playing. But
Actually, how about both?
nah,
Both. Yeah.
honestly, Jax, I think off the field, just the way that he carries himself, like not even like a crazy thing, just like the plan that he has. Like I think the thing that I respect about Jax is he has all of his ducks in a row. Like he really takes himself seriously, training wise, nutrition, family wise. Everyone's all aboard on that to get Jax where he's got to be. And I think on the field, that catch last week was pretty ridiculous, the one-handed catch. But I think when I watched Jax on film too, like we had Tyler Lockett here last year, and sometimes I watch Locke on film and just see the little things that Locke was doing, being a guy that's been in the league for so long. And then you watch Jax on tape, and a lot of people have said the analogy of like he's literally on skates. Like it literally looks like he's on an ice rink skating out there, the cuts that he makes, in and out of breaks. And I think that's the most impressive thing to me, just because like I know the route that we're running. I know the concept that Jax is running, and then the little nuance that he puts on it to make it his route is really special.
Tom Brady said during the game, he had a really interesting analogy. He said when receivers run, a lot of times the way their shoulder pads are moving can be an indication of where they're gonna go, what cut they're gonna make.
No doubt. Yeah.
But JSN, you don't see any of that. I don't even know what that means. But does that track for you?
For sure. That's kind of what I'm saying. He's just so smooth and efficient in and out of his breaks. Like you don't really know when he's going to break it off. And it almost looks like he's just gliding out there. Like he's not really like out of control, and he gets open and he catches the damn ball. That's for sure.
Okay, for you, this is the last one I promise, I think you're only 23, right, AJ?
Yeah.
Let's say 15 years down the road, way down the road, when you're an old man like me, what does AJ Barner legacy, what does it stand for? Football player, person, mentality, everything that you want to leave in terms of being a great player.
First of all, on the field, I think just a complete tight end. I love, getting involved in the red zone. I love getting the ball. I love making plays after the catch. And I love just as equally, sticking my face in it and letting somebody know in the trenches, and getting our running backs and our pass protection where it needs to be. And I think leadership as well. Like I touched on that. I love playing here in Seattle. I really want to play here for a long time. And the championships too. I think, like I said in my draft call, I think that's what it's all about, having team success. And then off the field too, I think I feel like, just people getting to know who I am. I think, like Trav said, I guess I'm a swag champ. I'm someone that likes to have fun, likes to be myself, really likes to enjoy life, be present in the moment, and not afraid to get outside their shell. I think in this day and age, it's like cool to be like too cool for school. I'm someone that's like gonna be myself, have fun, and live in the moment. So I think that. But like I said, I want to be, the best version of myself and one of the best tight ends to play in this league. And hopefully I can continue to do that.
And that's it for our last episode before the big game. Thank you to Keyshawn Johnson for being a living legend. And a huge thank you and good luck to AJ Barner for sharing his time with us as he prepares for the Super Bowl. And thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And of course, before I let you go, my Super Bowl prediction: Seattle 30, New England 24.